Marco, yeah, Marco.
Please don't call him Marco. Just call him mate or bro. Oh, there he is.
Here I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, he's all right.
Marco,
Hello.
Marco. Hey,
Good
man.
morning.
you all right, mate?
How
How's it
are you
going?
doing?
Yeah, all good, all good. Like we've just been having a discussion actually, because I've always said that you're called Mark, and then Mark says that you're called Marco. So which one is it? Because we're having a bit of a debate here.
Yeah, well, Marco is my birth name.
Okay.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so my parents gave me Marco as a name, and then my artist name is just Marc Noble, and there's a long story behind it. It's kind of a sort of transliteration and translation of my name and surname in English.
Right.
Ah,
Okay. So
there
well,
you go,
that's
James.
that's that's the Mark Noble. That's like the translation of your name
Yeah, there's
from.
nothing related to West Ham and Marc Noble
I
player.
just I just thought maybe you woke up one day and was like, do you know what? My alter ego is going to be Mark Noble, and my day is Marco.
It works quite well actually having the Italian and is it English side that you have as well?
Yeah, and it's more like in international. I didn't feel
Yeah.
comfortable in well at the beginning. I when I was younger and my musical career started, I used my real name. Then when I started producing music and releasing, I decided to move to an alias.
Yeah. Makes sense, mate. Well, it's doing you proud so far. Um,
Uh, yeah.
whereabouts are you in the world now then, mate?
Where where am I?
Yeah,
Where am I based? I'm in Milan,
Oh,
in
nice,
Milan. Okay.
very
and
A
but
little
nice.
bit more bougie than us.
I'm not from Milan. I grew up near Naples
Oh, cool, man. Nice.
in the 90s. So well, when the house music was at its peak.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and that's why I also started. I was like 15, 16. I bought my first turntables with a friend of mine. The two turntables and a mixer, just to share the expenses because at the time it was really expensive. And you were 15, so you didn't have any income,
Mm.
and also it was also a period where the vinyl was not so important as of now. I'm happy that it's like six, 5, 6 days that vinyl is coming back to the place where it has to be.
Mm.
Yes,
It was the
100%.
period when Pioneer started releasing the CDJs. There was Tractor yet, and so the digital revolution was kicking off. But I've got an
Perfect.
analog
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah.
I
Do you
play
prefer
vinyl.
DJing on vinyl or digital?
I play vinyl usually. Yeah.
Really? Wow,
Well,
cool.
Nice.
of course I had to also switch to the USB sticks because
Yeah.
it's not um, it's not easy to bring all the records and to have a proper turntable system, let's say.
Yeah.
So you have to also adapt with the USB sticks, and it's a pity because it takes me a lot of time to rip the records that I have in vinyl only. So a
Hmm.
lot of tracks that you don't have in digital version, and
Mm-hmm.
it took me
Yeah.
time to rip them and have them in my USB sticks. So the preparation before the gig is quite long.
It really is. I
Yeah.
remember when I started as well, similar kind of era, to be honest with you. Like I came up on vinyl, and when there was that kind of switch over to CDJs and trying to take all of your vinyl and using like a really old school sound card and basically trying to rip all of your vinyl using this
No,
horrific sound card, and the quality was never really there, but like you still really wanted to have your tunes. So like, yeah, I completely sympathize. And it's an expensive game. Like when you were buying vinyl, I mean, back in the day, it was so much more affordable, I found, here in the UK. Like you could go and pick up an LP for like maybe 15, 20 quid. You'd be able to buy like a single record for like
Yeah.
7, 8 quid, maybe a bit cheaper. And like now, it's just crazy prices to be able to continue with that kind of vinyl push and DJ side of things. Like it is just so difficult to kind of keep that. So well done for you keeping that spirit alive and like keeping
Yeah,
the roots.
yeah, and what is a pity is that great digging into buying a record store is far more expensive than buying them from an online store.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is also uh, erasing some of the the good feeling that you have when you physically are digging. Okay, I want to try this one. I want to try this one, rather than just clicking play on a digital
Yeah.
player and then see if it's good or not. Well, it's easier because I have a monthly subscription with some online record stores. So I get from there every month my record pack
Yeah.
delivered. Uh, but there's a lack of feeling. No, it's less
Mm.
romantic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going in there
Do you
and
have any record
listening
stores
and
where you
stuff.
are?
Yeah, there are a few. It's not like London.
Yeah.
That's a pity. But Milan has its own two or three good hidden gems. But of course, their
Nice.
catalog are are tiny. So um, maybe if you listen to the track, if and that's why I use Discogs a lot.
Hmm.
So you
Yeah,
can
it
get
was going to be
all
my
the
question to
records.
you on how do you find all your vinyl and stuff? Because yeah, exactly like you said, it's there's no better feeling than going into a record store. You have no idea what you're going to come across, and then you just come out there with like a nice little bag full of little gems. Sometimes I don't even you don't even get to play the songs. That's when it's the real gamble, and I like that when you just maybe pick like five records and you just take them home and then you put them on and there'll be like one on the B side that you're like, oh my God, yes, thank God this one is like an absolute tune. I
Um,
love it. I love that feeling.
no, well, I don't like to risk that much. So if I pick a
Mm,
record, even though I don't know what it is, I I wait my time if there is a queue to have the listen and just
hmm.
check. But still, it's far more expensive than an online store. So you also have to
Yeah,
balance on and think about also how much money can you afford on
yeah,
records. But
that
Yeah,
is it, mate. That is
100%.
it.
Well, at least we now know
uh,
that
Do you
you're a DJ and like you're a vinyl DJ at that. So like it's nice to be able to, speak to someone that kind of comes from the same background as we do. So
yeah,
obviously, now you're producing, you've been producing for how many years as well? Have you been doing this for long?
okay. So let's start from the beginning. As I
Yeah.
told you, I grew up in '90s. So I started DJing as I think it was like a game. I was like 15 or 16. So when I started going to parties, there was this house music scene in Naples and near Naples. It was huge, incredible. And from 16, and then it was like 2008 when the famous Neapolitan techno went out, and I had um, the the chance to meet in person some of the big names of the scene, and I now know them in person, like Joseph Capriati. He's
Mm,
from my hometown, so we know each other.
nice.
And when I started DJing, and I think this was one of the um, most important pieces, milestones that let me continue this game. Because I started for to DJing for the birthdays of my friends at high school. I bring all my gears there
Mm.
and in all on the first local parties. And I went up to a DJ competition, and Joseph was one of the judges. And he already was quite famous, and I won. He gave me some compliments, some congratulations. Also because okay, I was a rookie. I was young, so you as a judge expect a sort of standard DJ set, all the tracks that the big names are playing. So something that you're young, you want to emulate your idols. And then
Hmm.
I did something different. So I started to make my own set. So find down some personal sound, and he liked it. He said I had some personality in doing the selection, and so that was a milestone for me. That let me continue on this journey. I started production. I think I was like 25. So in the meantime, I played locally, but I also studied. So I got a degree. I studied economics, so I had to deal with both of the things. I also studied sound engineer and music production.
Nice.
So I've got a diploma for this, and after it, I think 6 months later, I released my first track.
Nice.
It was 2018, I think, and yeah, okay. It was one of the main most important milestones for me, releasing the first track. Um, if I were now, I wouldn't release it, of course, because it's your really first track and it's a not known label. But I think it's something that I had to do it because he gave me the push to understand. Okay, I'm doing something, so I am on
Hmm.
Spotify now, so I
Yeah.
can get known. And then I kept doing my sound. Of course, I had to deal with COVID as well.
Mhm.
So that period was like horrible because everything was like shut down. I lost all my connections, and I moved to another city for job. So DJing is not my main source of income. Let's say like that.
Hmm.
And I had to rebuild everything from scratch. I had to also sell some of my gears because at the time I used to have some hardware, the Novation Bus Station, the Cork Milog,
Okay,
and all
nice.
the yeah, it's very nice. I had to sell them, also the Ableton Push, and so I had to reinvent myself.
Hmm.
And now yeah, I released some records, um, and now it's like a couple of years that I recovered the time
Hmm.
lost.
Hmm. Sometimes as well, like when you're like beginning to find your sound, it does take a long time to be able to like adjust to realizing like where you're best suited when you're creating music. Like sometimes you might start in like a completely different genre, or you might start like in, let's say, I don't know, deep house, but actually you want to make deep tech or minimal or progressive, and then it's only through trying and experimenting with music where you start to kind of build your own signature sound. And that's probably where you feel that where you are now, like you've kind of like been doing this for some time, and now you kind
Yeah,
of understand where you best fit yourself and what you enjoy making the most, I guess.
yeah.
Um,
Also because you're getting older, so you're getting more mature to
yeah.
understand where you're going, where you want to go, and also I think that categorizing music is so difficult. We are now talking about deep
Ah,
tech. Is something that
yeah.
that there wasn't before,
Mhm.
and I have tons of records here from very different genres, and also I like to listen to them. So I don't want to stick my production in one cluster. That's why
Mhm.
if you listen to my old records, they're more like deep house. As I told you, I was highly influenced by house music. But then I moved to something like I say um, something between house and techno. That it's not tech house. it's a little bit different. So what I want to give to the audience, to the people, is having them doing that. When a track is good, you do this expression like when the bass line comes out and it's thick, or where the drop is thick. So that's my goal. Making the music memorable and having a sort of, I don't know, it's a loop, it's a synth, it's a melody that stick in their brains, and they can recognize it like 1 week later when they hear it again. Oh, it was that fucking track from that guy. I don't know who is the name, but I remember the track, and that's my goal, let's say.
100%, and I'm sure you will achieve it. I mean, the tunes that you've been putting out recently are of good quality. They're nice. I mean, the ones that we've taken, Luna Park, and I can't say the second track, Marco. Can you please Plenilunio?
Plenilunio, yeah.
Plenilunio.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's like it's a bit of a tongue twister for us. Over here, it's
Okay.
like blah blah blah.
For English
like,
people, it is a little bit.
yeah, but it's a real nice track, man, and like you did really good on those two.
Thank you. And yeah, actually, it was a period I had like 7, 8 finished tracks that I was trying to place in the right place. So just for the sake of, okay, I'm doing the release, just storing them. Luna Park, I made it in like 3 years ago, 2 years and a half ago. And it was there. It happens sometimes that I finish a track, and then after 6 months, I think it's finished. After 6 months, I re-listen to it. I say, "Oh, what is shit? Let's gonna change something." But I felt like Luna Park was done. Okay, no more changes here. And yeah, and I've got this EP with you coming. I think next week. I've got another one coming next month from with a Moroccan label, and they booked me to play Morocco. So
Nice.
I'm also
Nice.
happy to. Yeah, it's gonna be my first, let's say, gig in another great country. And yeah, I think this 2025 is started quite good.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's a very good milestone straight away. You like kind of like did this in your journey. You kind of like taken off.
Don't say nothing, but yeah.
Yeah. What's the gig in Morocco then?
It's gonna be on the 2nd of May.
2nd of May, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know
Is
where
it like
it
a
is?
beach club or anything?
In Rabat.
Rabat.
Yeah.
Not been there. I was thinking about going to Morocco just to get some Moroccan rugs. That's the only thing. They do some very nice architecture there. Obviously, the food is amazing. I don't know too much about the music culture over there. I haven't seen many club situations and stuff, but they
Yeah,
have good beach
I was
culture and
surprised.
restaurants.
I was surprised as well. But then I was in touch with the guy who runs the label, and they've got this party every Saturday in this club. I was like, okay, let me have a check, and they do like it feels like London.
Nice.
So I was like, oh man, yes, I'm gonna definitely come.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. So
Morocco is great for that, actually. Yeah,
what's
sorry.
the
Oh,
label
sorry, I think
called?
there's a delay on this.
It's Alternative Ground.
Alternative Ground.
Yeah.
Okay, well, shout out to them then, because that's pretty cool. They seem to be making waves in
Yeah, sure.
Morocco, which is the main thing, you know, keeping the house music alive.
I was going to come back to on your releases with us, mate. One of
Okay.
our questions was like how you found your inspiration. Where do you draw your inspiration from? Do you use any references, or do you go to your vinyl for samples? How do you sort of like start your tracks and work your way through
Yeah,
that?
well, the inspiration comes from the music I started listening when I was a kid. So house music basically, but it's gonna be influenced by also not house music, but all my father's LPs, so the
Mhm.
70s and the 80s. So I've got plenty of disco music, plenty of 80s synth pop records, and so Giorgio Moroder, Depeche Mode. So that's why all those, let's say, creepy but deep sounds inside a maybe more housey drum kit.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it's not just okay, I'm doing it and I feel like okay, this is good. It's not like okay, I want to do a track like this one. It just comes out.
You let it evolve naturally.
Yeah, indeed. And that's also why I sometimes um, produce more track at the same time. So I set a track. I come up like at 60%, and then I got stuck. Then I try a
Yeah.
synth that is not really a good fit for the track, but then maybe if he let me think about in another track I have um, uh, pending, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, this might be a good fit for this other track. So let's go back to the other one
Yeah.
and let's continue that one. So it's also back and forth between tracks.
Okay.
Depend how the sounds are evolving and
Yeah.
what are the emotions that they're bringing me during in the making. Let's say.
Right. That's interesting then. So you can work comfortably between different projects and you don't stick to one lane almost. If you think that something else is working for another track, you'll jump back to that one and work on that and
Yeah,
I guess move forward.
yeah, and it depends. There are cases in which a track is I finish a track in 2 days. I start
Yeah.
it and I finish it like 95% is done and just the fine tuning at the end. So I bounce it. I listen to it in a different sound system in the car. I send it to my friends for feedbacks. Then I relax my ears for a couple of days. I listen to it after a couple of days, so it feels like a brand new track. So you don't already know what's coming
Mm.
out, and then I finish it. I fine tune, and then it's mixing. So I fine tune also the mixing. So I understand which are the channels that needs to be um, more clean than the others, and it's done. In other cases, I set a track, I got stuck, I set another one, and I got stuck, but then I go back to the other one. So it's a mix of
Mhm.
those.
Have you got
Oh,
any
yeah.
go-to plugins when you're making tunes?
Yeah, well, let's okay, I'm relying more on Ableton stock plugins now
Okay.
that they made these new versions. But when I started with Ableton 9.5, you definitely had to rely on external ones. So for mixing purposes, the fab filters, so the EQs, some reverbs, and of course the compressors, because the Ableton compressor is not as good as you may think. So something from the waves, or nowadays I'm using the universal audio tube compression. Very good for voices and for bass lines as well. And one VST that I am not VST, one plugin that I am using everywhere in every track is the Nicky Romero. Um,
Yeah,
oh,
Kickstart.
the
Kickstart.
Kickstart. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got that as
Yeah,
well. It's a staple, isn't it?
yeah,
That one.
because it's easy and it does the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
How can you
perfect.
not use it? Saves so much
And
time, doesn't it?
for production, so at the beginning I used also my hardware, but now that I am only producing in the box, it's something with the Roland Cloud, so the Roland clones, for of the
Mm.
famous hardware, so the Juno 106, and also for the drum machines, or Diva in Basil.
Mhm.
And now that Ableton implemented these new VSTs like Wavetable, I'm also relying more on Ableton stock ones. rather than in the past. But then one thing that I usually do is just sampling. So using the sampler. So maybe if I can use a stock sound from a library, I don't know, a stub, a pad, just cutting the envelope, putting it to the sampler, and then adjusting the length of the note, and then playing it. So it's a mix of VSTs and sampling.
What's the sampler that you use? Is it a hardware sampler? Is it like a stock?
No, the Ableton one,
The
the
Ableton one.
Ableton one, or Contact.
Okay, yeah,
Of
contact's really nice.
native instruments. Very useful because if you have contact libraries, it's huge, and I do have them. Like for example, for the strings, you can use the orchestra ones. They have been recorded in the perfect or orchestra hall, and then you can play it. So they are also useful. But I am relying more on Ableton stock ones, also to avoid big chains of external plugins to overload my CPU.
No,
Oh, we
100%.
know
I
all
mean,
about that. Don't worry.
yeah, I know. I mean, contact's a pretty big one though. I mean, that is such a vast like. Well, I know it's just a player, but like all of the other plugins that you can kind of put within it, um, it's just such a massive CPU heavy machine.
Yeah, Reactor, for
Oh,
instance.
Reactor's massive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean just a beast in itself, but very expensive. I mean, when you're getting into this, I think as well, like you don't necessarily know how much money to put aside for producing because you could get carried away and buy so much stuff. So
Yeah.
what would your advice be to anyone starting out that's like getting into Ableton or I mean we're Logic users, so you're a bit of like we don't like talking about Ableton or Logic, it's a bit of an argument, isn't it? But like if people are getting into Ableton and they want to start producing, what would you advise them? Like how would you help them?
Okay, first get a proper sound card. Sound card is above everything. I see all of these guys. They do the videos, the pictures of what they do. They have this Genelec and then the Scarlett 2i4 sound card. It doesn't make any sense. You need to have a proper sound card. Then you can go to the gears. You can have also all the gears you want, but if your sound card is shit, you're not getting the good sound from the machines you're using. So first get the sound card and a good pair of monitors and good pair of ears. But because if you don't have ears, you can't do this job. And then experiment. Maybe use some reference track. Follow some YouTube courses. I don't know, because at the beginning it's very difficult, struggling to understand what's beyond a track, how many channels you really need to have. There are tracks which are made up of 65 channels without the returns. So if you want to have a good product, you need to study first. And
Yeah, that's good advice, actually. Yeah.
and then just experiment. Let your brain go. And there are a few rules that you need to follow on on the roots, on the level, on the peak, and on the dBs. But then it's the rule is that on top of those technical rules, there are no rules. It's music, so it's just art expression.
Yes.
So,
So you don't think you need to be constrained by, analog synths and stuff like that. You can just get straight into it with a good sound card, good speakers.
Well, Chris Tassi is not using any gear, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. He's just
Do you watch his
using
vlogs?
40. Yeah, he's just using his
Yeah.
in the kitchen. I think it's
Yeah.
Logic Pro and 4 inches monitors. That's it.
Yeah.
You can
It's
do it.
amazing what he's up to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But then you have to be also capable of using the external the VSTs,
mm,
because using the knobs on the hardware, it's like
Yeah.
using the knobs with the mouse on the VST. So it's the same. So you need to
Mm.
know what you are moving.
Mm.
I think, yeah, I mean, another thing perhaps would be what, like, kind of to summarize what you're saying is don't be constrained, and also perhaps you knowing your system. So, like, knowing like the internal plugins, the internal VSTs before you start to branch out and spend a load of money on expensive gear, unless you're trying to get into analog, where that's like a different way of producing altogether, really.
Yeah, it's totally different if you want to use analog sound. If you want to use external hardware, you need to have a proper cables, connections, monitors,
Mm.
sound cards. It's much more important than having a good sound card if you're um, product producing in the box only. Um, so it's going to be much more expensive. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have money, if you have money to spend and you want to do it, you can do it. It's also depend on how much you can afford.
100%. Yeah, that's
Very
cool.
true.
Well, guys, like we've not got long left. We've got like about 5 minutes to kind of
Okay.
finish this off. Just because we're cheap, Marco. We don't buy Zoom. That's way too expensive for us. Um,
You should see, we have to send each other links non-stop, mate. 45
yeah,
minutes because we do our production together via Zoom.
Yeah,
So it's a
yeah.
constant back and forward
It's
like this.
It's 7 minutes. I see the countdown here.
yeah. That's it. So, Mark,
We have so many subscriptions.
have we got many more questions that you want to ask? That we have.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much one of the last ones I wanted to ask, mate, was what's been your most memorable moment in your music career so far? Just tell us about the best thing that's happened.
Yeah. So they are like two into different period of time. One was one I already told you when I did my DJ competition at the beginning with Joseph
Hmm.
Capriati, who said me I was good basically, and this let me continue. And the second one is uh, being booked in London. So
Yeah.
if in a very important venue for a good party, and I was really anxious for that, and I was booked for the closing. So I was double anxious because it was the
Mm.
closing slot, and I did not know how could the crowd react to my performance. Everything
Mhm.
went good, and the party organizer at the venue started calling me, book me again and again. So I played there like 4 times now in 6 months.
Amazing. Is that
So
XOY?
yeah, correct. And
Nice.
I'm not saying I'm resident because it's not a residency, but um, they rebooked me more than once. So I think it's very important to me moving abroad and bringing my music to London, which at the moment I think in Europe is the most important scene for underground music.
Yeah.
And from there you can bring connections. So it's
Mhm.
gonna be also it's not a point of arrival; it's a starting point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. XOY, mate, it's an amazing club. That is, one of the most established clubs in the UK with an amazing name. It's done so many good parties. So yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations for playing there, especially 4 times, and maybe a little shout out to the promoter to get Marco on the books, make him a resident. We'll give him
Yeah,
a tag.
I think I'm coming back to London in May after I come back from Morocco. So I had my plans to come to London in April, but due to my from some duties for my work, I can't move from Milan.
Mhm.
But I definitely come back in May, and maybe we can also get in touch and
Yeah.
Yeah,
meet
I
up
mean,
in
we're about
person.
like 4 hours away from London, just so you know. But like, it's still doable if we've got a bit of notice. But yeah, it'd be really cool to actually meet you in real life and not just through a square.
Yeah.
So yeah, just definitely give us a shout, man. Um, Questions? Any other specific questions, Mark? Got 3 minutes, mate. What we saying?
Well, just touching back on the on London quickly is a little exclusive for everyone. We do have some plans coming to London, so hopefully, Marco, once we get that sorted, we'll let you know. And yeah, we should have an event happening this year at some point in London. If
Great.
not, are you going to ADE?
Not yet.
Because that's the other plan that we have to go to ADE in October. We're going
Oh,
to try and
nice.
link up with everyone there, basically. So
Mm,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Okay.
how it goes. It's obviously quite early doors for us, but we do really appreciate your support. Sending us tracks. You've been very professional from the start.
mm.
Amazing music. And yeah, mate, we honestly wish the best, all the success for you.
Oh,
And
thank
we'll
you,
do our
guys.
best to promote you as much as we can, mate. Because yeah, you're a really good guy doing some
No,
cool
Yeah,
but you
stuff.
too are, thank you for good kind words. You two are, you started from scratch. You are a brand new label, but I immediately felt you are doing things in the right thing,
oh,
in the
thank
right
you.
way. So you are starting this label in a professional way. You have got this platform for the contract, everything, the promo thing. You are investing things. It's not just
Thank
a
you.
label run by someone randomly, and it's just a label for the sake of doing a label. I know
Yeah.
it's 2 minutes, James. I know,
Yeah, so good, man.
uh,
Let's
but
carry on. It's good.
but I think you're doing good, and you're investing your. I think you're investing your money in a good way, and you're gonna do good things. Keep going.
Thank you,
Thank you
mate.
very much.
Yeah,
Well,
we got some
keep
good
releasing
plans.
with us, mate. Like, just tell us if you got something with us for like that would suit our label, and you're more than welcome to be part of the gang. So yeah,
Of
thank you
course.
again for the releases, and we can't wait for that Forever Changing track as well. We didn't mention it, but
Oh,
All
that free
right.
haven't
download,
All
mentioned.
right.
we've got that
Yeah.
one coming
We,
out soon.
Do you know what?
yeah.
When we sent that out on the demo and stuff, mate, you had a really good response from Sonody for your tracks. So yeah, he actually really liked that Forever Change track. He mentioned that as like I think it was his favorite one, basically. So yeah,
Nice.
Oh, cool.
good
Yeah, that's
feedback.
cool. All right,
Great.
guys. Well, thank you again, Marco or Marc Noble, however you want to be called, mate. Um,
It's up to
Marco,
you. Marco,
uh,
Marc Noble, wherever you want to call him, it's me.
yeah, that's all you, man.
brilliant.
That's the whole package. Right. Okay. Well, have a great day, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And yeah,
Thank you,
speak to you very
guys.
soon.
Speak soon.
thank
Bye.
you, mate.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Ciao.
See you later.